What's up YouTube? Welcome to Koala Gardens. I'm so pleased to be able to take a walk through October with you. I can't believe it's gone already, but there were so many koalas here and so many other beautiful native wildlife that it's going to be lovely to share them with you. Do watch through for the bonus at the end. Sit back, have a great time. Don't forget to get your order in for the 2022 calendar featuring your favourite Koala Gardens koalas. So much great stuff in there. I'm not going to spoil it with a full peek through, just a quick little look. Links in the description below. They're selling fast, but there's plenty left. I am so excited to announce that the Adventures in Mist is about to launch the latest book, Nugget Comes Home. I'm always in awe at how Lucienne takes the draft story and brings it totally to life with her illustrations. So please put aside 9 a.m. November the 9th to join us live for the book launch. Check now what that means for your time zone. Mist is at it again. We've seen her find her way to a home at Koala Gardens, develop friendships, and overcome several challenges. Now, we find that Nugget is in a serious situation, and Mist understands that greater help is needed. We can't wait to show you more, so please make sure you save that date. Koala Gardens is a wildlife sanctuary on private land. Subscribing helps me bring koalas to you, and liking this video helps me bring them to the whole world. I'm lucky enough to live in the koala's backyard with a wild and free colony on the far north coast of New South Wales in Australia. Check out my Patreon options and come over and chat on my public Discord server. You'll find links for these and lots more in the description below. I'm Katrina, and I'm passionate about saving koalas. The sunrises at this time of the year are rather spectacular, especially before the sun actually gets over the horizon. Ash is becoming quite a little regular at dropping in just one day a month, usually somewhere in the first few days of the month, and I'm so excited because in this particular visit he is sitting in one of Miss' favourite old Angophora trees. It was just such a delight to see a koala there. This young black-headed cuckoo shrike can take us into looking through some of the gorgeous array of birds that I was able to capture here. Beautiful honey eaters in the grevillea, and this is a pair of Pacific vases. Well, I'm not sure if they're a pair or a mother and her young. There's been quite a few of them around, and they are a beautiful bird with a bright yellow eye. The rainbow lorikeets are always a delight to watch, not just for their gorgeous colour, but also for their acrobatic antics. They are just amazing the way they move through, feeding on the flowers and seeds of the grevilleas. As the weather warms up, the bird baths become increasingly popular. It's really quite difficult to catch birds in there because they take off if they see me. All of the birds on my property are really quite shy because they are wild animals, and I don't ever interact with them. I don't ever try to feed them. Water is the only thing I supply to them, but I do love to watch them and to video and photograph them whenever I can. This bird is sheltering from some heavy rain under the gazebo, and I'm in my lounge room videoing this through the window. Such a huge variety of bird life here. Some of them would be familiar to you, but some of them are quite different birds that only we have in Australia. And the timidity of them when I'm out on the property, such as this bush turkey going, "Uh-oh, I'm out of here." It's quite easy to actually sneak up on the koalas on the quad bike, which sounds strange, because they just take no notice of the noise. The birds, however, particularly the ground birds, are much more wary of it. So you can see how far away I had to stop to take that bit of video. The king parrots are just the most glorious colour. Again, they're quite timid, so often I'm hiding in the house trying to take photos out through windows and things. Alright, let's have a look at koala activity. You might remember that this gorgeous little boy Bobby turned up, and he spent a few days moving about through the plantation area on the property, and hopefully he's found a place, maybe even not too far away from here, to settle and start to make his home range. What a little cutie he is. He's about 2.5 to 3 kilos in size, about the same size as the lovely Miss Luna. And just look at how he's draped himself over that branch. Oh dear. But on other days, he was up high in very leafy areas and eating his little heart out. Bullet actually spent 20 of the 31 days of the month here on the property. Well, I should say at least, because I never know how many times he's here and I don't manage to see him. When he's in a tree like that, he's pretty easy to spot, even from a distance. But at other times, of course, it can be really difficult to spot koalas. If you join my public Discord channel, you'll find that we play a koala spotting game where I take photos, and this was one of the recent ones that we actually played the game on, and it can be surprisingly hard to find a koala up in all that leaf. And then at other times, Bullet can be up in the tippy tops of the smaller trees that are only 5 to 8 metres tall in the plantation, doing his quality control checking duties, making sure that the trees we're growing to cut for the koalas in care are of the absolute highest quality. Bullet also shows typical koala behaviour of spending some of his time sleeping and sheltering in non-food trees or secondary food trees, such as this beautiful big pink bloodwood. There's certainly nothing like coming out on any particular day and seeing that gorgeous Bullet face and those sleeping positions wherever he is all over the property. You make my day, Bullet. And sometimes I can be lucky enough to find him awake and on the move. Here he goes through the plantation, changing trees for a good quality control checking meal. It's a hard job, but you know, somebody's got to do it and make sure that everything is just spot on here. And of course, once that hard work's been done, it's always time for a good nap. So many different butterflies, like this common crow here, because it's spring, so they're out and they're flying about. The monarchs are everywhere, mating away, and they're so hard to catch because they move pretty fast, really. And this one, I can't even say the name of this one. I don't know what the common name of it is, but it's really quite a little beauty. And of course, we wouldn't have the butterflies if we didn't have the caterpillars. Look at this monarch caterpillar munching out nom 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 on some milkweed, which is their native host. And so that's why I have monarchs here, is because I have the milkweed bushes here that they need to lay their eggs and for their caterpillars to feed on. Just amazing. I love watching them. And of course, lady beetles are incredible predators that keep pests away like aphids. As they grow, they will actually feed from the flowers of the milkweed, and of course, they will try and lay their eggs on or right beside milkweed plants. There's heaps of them around at the moment, but they don't actually migrate because our winters are warm enough here for them to stay. And now the gorgeous Miss Ellie. I didn't see her so many times during the month, but she is really looking rather fantastic. She's been coming through the edge of the rainforest a lot of the days, and nearly always when I see Ellie, she is really high up in big trees. It can be very difficult to actually find a place where I can get a clear shot through to her. It might look to you like, oh, why don't I just move to the side a little bit? But what very often happens is if I move to the side just 2 or 3 steps, she will be totally covered over by that leaf, for example, that you can see on the right hand side. On this particular day, this was the only spot where I could actually clearly see through to Ellie, no matter where I might move around, and just look at how far away from the tree I had to be. We'll have a little look at some flowers. So that's a bottle brush, callistemon, and koalas actually will eat those flowers. This is a tropical apple that I grow, gorgeous apples in the summer, and the flowers are really quite sweet, don't you think? This is a blood plum that is ripening up, and we've had some rain, so there's been some beautiful different little fungi coming up in different places. I am a real fan of fungi. Man, I love fungi. I also love reptiles, and this little eastern skink was the animal that you had to find hidden in the pages of the previous Adventures of Miss book, and here's one right in my backyard. Let's spend a few minutes with Luna. She was here on the property heaps, and she is just growing up to be such an incredibly gorgeous, big, round girl. Unbelievable. She's 3rd generation, born at Koala Gardens, and is the daughter of Phoenix, who is the daughter of Racy. Luna is often very, very high up in the really big trees, and yet she also does lots of quality control work through the plantation. This is a swamp mahogany, and she's really fond of swamp mahogany. And in the big trees, look at this. She's right up the top, about 35 metres up, and we can see the sun just coming over the horizon. Here's a few fast-forwarded little snippets just to give you some ideas of how high up she can be and how hard it can be to actually spot a koala when they're way, way up there. I think everybody probably agrees that I have got the best kitchen window view ever. I was talking before about Bullet using the pink bloodwoods to shelter in, and the same is with Luna, but then Phoenix grew up with Racy often using some pink bloodwoods, so she will have taught Luna that these are good shelter trees too. But honestly, how big a crack up is this? I was having so much trouble filming because I was just laughing and laughing. Like, okay, that's a little special stool just made for Luna to sit her little bottom on. That's that cartilage plate across her back. Perfect for sitting on a little spot like this for a grooming session. Oh my goodness, she is the best. Let's move on to have a bit of a look at Matilda, and what is really quite astounding about this is that's Matilda, and not very far away, there's Bullet. The day before, Matilda was in that tree. Oh, just wears a girl out, I tell you. Koalas have to spend quite a bit of their time grooming, and they often look like they're scratching, and there is some scratching involved, but it's all part of care of that beautiful thick fur coat. And of course, they spend most of their time sleeping. So I work hard every month to get out there and be observing the koalas enough to actually get some footage of koalas that are awake. Matilda never fails to please when she is awake because Her royal roundness is just an absolute joy to behold every single time, no matter when I see her. If I can get a view through to her, she is just delightful. But occasionally she does snub me and do a good "I'm just going to turn my back on you" trick. Matilda was only 1 day behind Bullet so far as the count of how many days she was here. Bullet was here for 20 days. Matilda was here 19 days. That's a really good percentage of the month, and she's moved over quite a few areas of the property from area 9, 10, 11 and 18. On the very last day of the month, I found a new koala, but this is what I battle sometimes to try and identify koalas and get footage of koalas to you. This is what I was seeing. The wind was blowing, the koala was right up in this top thickly leafed area of the tree. In the end, I had to take several lots of video, come back, load the video into Photoshop, and then go through frame by frame until I got this shot and could say with absolute certainty, we've never seen that koala before. I think that's what you call being a nerd. And this is the day that gorgeous Nina came back. I absolutely love her. She is so pretty, and she always reminds me of a cross between Maxine and Racy. As pretty as Maxine, but there's always something a little bit unladylike and mischievous about Nina as well. I wonder if we'll end up seeing more of Nina. It's obvious that she has remained somewhere around the area. Maybe she's following Luna about? Hard to say. On this particular day, Nina and Luna are quite close to each other. So Nina's in the plantation and Luna is in a pink bloodwood. Let's have a look at that. I'll zoom back out a bit. Nina's in a plantation tree. That's Bullet's favourite red gums. Here's the pink bloodwood, and there's Luna sleeping away quite close by. Wherever she is, I hope that we get to see more of her, because I tell you what, look at that gorgeous little face. She's something else. It was also lovely to see Phoenix back. 3 times during the month I was able to find Phoenix. You can see that she is one big girl. She's also sitting in a pink bloodwood tree, and Racy used to love sheltering in that tree. This is another day and she's in the same tree, and oh wow, just look at the hailstorm that is on its way over, and she's taking absolutely no notice and just slept the storm out there in the tree. This time she's in a pink bloodwood that's down around the middle of the property. So you can see that pink bloodwoods are quite popular shelter trees for the koalas on my property. It's windy. We had quite a windy month in general, so she does the koala thing, tuck your head in. We did get some rather big hailstorms during the month. Lots of wind, lots of rain, lots of lightning, lots of leaf blown off the trees, unfortunately. You can see everything blowing around, the water coming down. We certainly need the water, but it came flooding through my back veranda, and you can see the hail. Fortunately, we only had small hail that didn't do damage. Other areas copped some terrible damage, so I'm grateful. And look at my beautiful green tree snake. I think that it was maybe trying to get into the gutter looking for some frogs, but we got a good look at each other instead. I'm getting pretty good at videoing through different windows in the house. I'm now videoing through my bedroom window early one morning. I love how that wallaby is using that front paw like a little hand to hold that plant so that he can get a good meal from it. And now, just so that you are aware that I am telling the absolute truth, I'm taking this through my bedroom window. I'll just zoom back out and you can actually see that I'm peeking through the blinds on my window. We started this with a beautiful sunrise I captured at the beginning of the month, so let's end it with one at the end of the month. Just beautiful looking over the mist rising up through the valley. Now, your bonus. I decided to use one of the photos of Luna sitting on her little stool that she found in the pink bloodwood because it was so hilarious. I hope you like the little effects that I put onto this image. It's available on some merchandise up on Redbubble if you like this photo. And you've done it. You've made it through to the end of yet another Koala Gardens KTV video. You've got to see lots of beautiful koalas and other native Australian wildlife that live in the koala landscape. Remember, everything is connected. We need every single animal and plant that works together in the ecosystem. I wonder if you would consider becoming a patron of Koala Gardens. There's amazing video that you receive every month that gives you inside information, early access to video footage and news well before anybody else hears it. It is allowing me to spend more and more time working for the koalas, getting photos and video and putting these together. You know, if just a quarter of my followers here on YouTube decided to become patrons and support me, I would be able to do this work for the koalas full time, which would be fantastic. Anyway, you've made it through to the end of another video, and I would love if you would write in the comments below, outstanding October. Make sure you've subscribed, hit that like button, and stay tuned for more great koala video. Thanks for visiting Koala Gardens. Did you hit the like button? Now before you go, there's lots more great video to see, and make sure you've subscribed and hit that notification bell.